What up, what up, what up? Good morning to everybody. Y'all know what it's like, kid drop off time. But I'm here in the flesh. Good morning to everybody. I'm ready and excited to get started. It might help if I actually move my microphone a little bit closer to me. This might help with a little bit of the sound. Like my first rodeo, apparently. That's all right. We're going to get this thing going. Looking forward to today's show. It'll be an abbreviated show because they're actually Texas is going to make some players available to us today, and so I got to make sure I get down there for that. But I will definitely be here to really kind of get into some quarterback conversations and in conversations, I do mean plural conversations, not only ours, but we're also going to talk about some of the other people who are out there. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride, as the brat would say. I hope everyone's doing good. I know Rodolfo was in the house. Good to see him. Sandman, of course, Chris Bennett. Chris Bennett, how's the surgery recovery going? You know, y'all like family to me. Damn it, man. What is going on today? I am not. I don't know what the hell. I'm not even drinking. I don't even know what the hell's going on. I don't know what's going on. I just spilled all this drink all over myself. Anyway, good morning to you. I don't know what is I'm tripping. Sandman, Chris Bennett, Tracy, Money Bees in the more. Okay, I just had to check on. Y'all know, just another fragrance reviewer. He's in Colombia right now. I didn't making sure. All right, so he got all his intestines in order. you got your kidneys and stuff. You good? You good? Just another fragrance reviewer. I'm glad. Or do we need to send somebody to come get you? Do we need to do a rescue mission? But good morning to everybody else. Stephanie, Mickey, Cool Horn Luke, Just a Dude, and Jay Wags. Good morning to y'all. You know, it's a time to have a kind of a little bit of a quarterback conversation, and we will have plenty of quarterback conversations as time goes on. But I found it to be kind of interesting. And good morning, Zio underscore V, my favorite Hennessy bottle. I found it really interesting that one of the things I kind of noted is I think it was an overreaction. I don't know if it was this past Monday or the Monday before. I think it was this past Monday, right? And one of my overreactions was, man, they haven't really talked about Arch Manning that much. You know, I got good. Hey, man, just another phase review. As long as you're good. Then again, just another man court. I don't really think they're trying to take no brothers. You be all right. You be all right. They ain't looking for you. Don't let you get them. They know that there's no ransom amount that if they wanted to take you. Ain't nobody doing no GoFundMe for your ass to pay no ransom. So they already know that you good. You can wander them streets. You good. Just don't get robbed. One of the things was, and where's Nate? Where's Nate at? Is that one of my overreactions was, you know, we haven't really talked about the quarterback a lot this season and this offseason, right? And you would have thought it was interesting because last year, and I don't know how this happened, right? But basically, when it's all said and done, you know, Quinn Ewers becomes kind of like a lightning bolt of a conversation, like really, really a good, like a lightning bolt, and a lot of emotions that usually were attached to those conversations, a lot of debate as to what he is or is not, or was not, or could not be. And a lot of that had to do, of course, with, you know, the high school rankings and Ohio State, him being at Texas is one of the reasons why I actually was pretty glad that the Cowboys signed a quarterback in the offseason, because I just told myself, I said, yeah, I just feel like one of the worst things for Quinn that could happen is if round 3 he gets drafted by the Cowboys or something. You know, I'm like, man, get out of Texas. Just at the end of the day, you got to get out of Texas, right? And it's funny, I was talking to some of his people about that a couple of weeks ago, and that was kind of their sentiment as well. Like, just go get out of Texas. Just be a guy. Just be a quarterback on a team and don't have to have all these other things that that come along with it, right? Um, and so, but it was always these constant conversations about Quinn, right? And I was always a big defender of him, and a lot of reasons why I was defending him. I don't know where the negativity was never going to help, because at the end of the day, that was Sark's guy, right? And so because that was Sark's guy, I mean, what are we going to do? Like, at the end of the day, Sark's going to roll with him. And so you, as a Texas fan, you just got to hope that everything works out the way you want it to work out, right? And so that was always kind of the Quinn conversation for me. Just kind of is what it is. Roll with it, hope for the best. And he's good enough to get you to where you need to be, which was the semifinals. Was it pretty at times? No. It was ugly at times? Sure. Was he injured every season? Yep. But at the end of the day, was it good enough to get you to where you need to be? Sure. Does he make the throw against Arizona State that you need in order to continue with that game and continue going? Like, absolutely. Could he play better versus Ohio State? Sure. Was it his fault that he got just leveled, and dude returns the fumble, strip sack fumble, runs it for a touchdown? Like, no. So anyway, it was Quinn. And then I was really convinced by the time we got to the Arch Manning portion of this story, it was going to be crazy. And the funny thing, what happened at the end of the day is that when this offseason's gotten started, no one's really talked about Arch. That's like, well, what the hell? It's like, it's Arch, and no one's talking about this dude. And so, of course, I ask in the courses of conversations, and be able to hear some things about Arch, right? And it's relevant. And by the way, I broke down a lot of things on Sarkisian yesterday. So if you missed that, go back there and yesterday and watch it. Listen to it in the car. Easy way to kind of do this with technology the way that it is. You just listen to it in the car on your car rides. Some people's like, oh, do you guys have a podcast? I'm like, Brad, what kind of car you got? You got to upgrade. You got a USB port in your car? Well, no, we don't need that. Anyway, but now this becomes Arch's team, right? And this now has become where we're at. It's like, okay, this is Arch's team, and what does this thing look like with Arch as the leader, right? And so and you're right, Mark, it's like we talked about him so much, like nobody wants to talk about him. I'm like, why are we talking about the guy when he wasn't the starting quarterback except for those 2 games, and now he's the starting quarterback? It's like, oh. And again, I think maybe the expectations for Quinn were so high. And I think the expectations for Arch are high too. But nonetheless, it finally came up in conversation this week where someone finally asked him about Arch. And so I want to kind of play for you guys. If you've missed it, it's about like a 2.5 minute clip. Some things as relates to Arch that you may or may not have heard, but I condense it for you. My Tyler, the creator. That's what I'm going to start calling my producer. I'm going to start calling him Tyler, the creator. Yes. Over the last couple of weeks, stumbled onto some of y'all young folks' music. I did. I was like, wow, whoever this Tyler Creator guy is, he's pretty good. Like, I don't know who. I didn't know who he was until a couple of weeks. Then I started going in his catalog. Like, wow, he's got some pretty good music. I kind of like it. Anyway, Sark talks about Arch in a press conference. Here you go.
He always told us last year that he prepares himself every week like he's going to start. How does that energy he had last year, how will that benefit him now that he is the guy?
Yeah, no, I think Arch is a naturally competitive guy, and I've said this before, he's got a very infectious personality. I think people gravitate to him. And one of the things I see right now is, naturally, he's leading a group of maybe some younger players, especially at the skill spots, at the wideout spot. His confidence, I think, helps them. His understanding, his ability to connect to those guys in between series and talk to them has been helpful. But I also see a competitive spirit affecting the defensive side of the ball. I think they like competing against Arch. I think they know, he's going to talk a little smack to him. He's going to have fun with it. And I think that's bringing out some kind of some personality in an Anthony Hill or a Manny Muhammad or a Michael Taft, some guys who have played a lot of football, and they're thinking, here comes another spring practice, and when's the next game? And it's not for months down the road, but yet every day is a game. Every day is competitive because they know 16 is going to bring it, and if he gets them, he's going to let them know about it.
One real quick follow-up on Arch off the field.
By the way, we'll break that down, but I thought that was a really good observation that he had. There's going to be a follow-up question to that one as well, but I thought that was really good what Sark said about the bringing out that juice in other people. Just take a mental note because I'm going to come back to that in a second, okay?
His jersey sales were great, all that. Have you talked to him about handling the fame?
The boos? Because the boos are going to come here pretty soon too.
Right, yeah.
I love our fans. They love the backup quarterback, but they hate interceptions, so those are coming.
Well, Coach does have a point. He does have a point. Texas fans loves their quarterbacks until they don't. You can ask Sam Ellinger about that. You can ask Quinn about that. Those are two things. Okay, so that's the second one we'll come back to.
Handling yourself out in public, and people know who he is. And
yeah, I mean,
approach him a lot.
I think the good thing for Arch is he's been exposed to a lot. It's no secret who his family is. It's no secret who his uncles are, who his grandpa is, who his dad is. I think he's been exposed to a lot, and handling himself in a way I think is important to him. Finding a tight-knit circle of people that is his crew of guys to hang with and people to hang with that he can trust. I think that's important, that you don't overly expose yourself. But in the end, I think what a benefit he's had of just growing up and seeing it in real time of kind of how to handle himself, how to conduct.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, let's just be honest. Like, I'll start with that one and I'll work my way back. At the end of the day, I love it when people ask that question. Hey, how does he? Do you talk to him about how to be a man? Like, dude's been a man in his entire life. Like, I think he understands what the spotlight is like. It's not like it's brand new to him, right? It's not like the spotlight is brand new to him. You're like, hey, man, look, I don't know if you know this, but you're kind of popular. Really, Coach? Damn, I didn't know. I thought all these people were just asking me for autographs because, like, maybe they saw a TikTok video. Like, so I love what like reporters kind of ask Captain Obvious kind of questions, because that's a Captain Obvious question. He's been famous since he's been in high school. Okay, like the moment he decided to play high school, hell, the moment he decided to play quarterback, I don't know when he played quarterback. Was he playing quarterback in Pop Warner or whatever he decided? Like, hey, this is what I'm going to do. He's been famous. So the thing that people would always tell me about him is that, yeah, he's kind of a famous dude, but he's kind of chill. Like, he doesn't really let that get to him, and it's not the thing that consumes him, right? So you never have to worry about like, oh, is Arch gonna, how do you handle the fame? Now, I mean, they do have to put certain precautions in. Like, I have heard like little things, like when he goes to like basketball games, right? That they like security kind of make sure that he could kind of have a good time. So there are some preemptive things that they put in place for him just to kind of make sure he's okay, because he is kind of a rock star. But at the end of the day, it's not like he doesn't go and take pictures with fans or this and that. Like, you just know. But I'll be honest with you, I've walked around and I've just seen Arch walking around campus. Now, to be clear, I'm walking around going to like something UT related. Like, I don't wander around the UT campus. Like, I gotta be careful. Y'all take things out of proportion sometimes. I would just say he walk around campus. I mean, it's a beautiful campus, by the way. I don't mind walking. It's like good to get some steps. But I've seen him just walking around and no one's bothered him. He's just kind of like a normal teenager on his phone, just kind of doing his thing. And if I'm walk past him, I say, "What's up?" But outside of that, just keep it moving. So you don't have to worry about Arch as relates to the fame. I thought what the funny part, though, when he said about the boos and the boos are going to come. Now, I think he's being a little dramatic. I don't necessarily think that the boos are going to come. I think Sark is just kind of joking around with that portion of it. But because I don't think people booed Quinn. Or did they boo Quinn? Yeah, I guess there were some times he did get booed. You're right. Yeah, that part did happen. I don't think people are going to boo him. But the first couple of interceptions, though, the first lackluster game, will he get criticized? Like, yeah, that's going to happen. Let him get into like a little funk. Is that gonna happen? Like 100%. Like that's going to happen to any quarterback. This is why I can kind of can do a cautionary tale and try to caution everybody before the season that there will be moments this year where Arch looks like a mortal, and it's going to be okay. It's going to happen. And it's going to be all right. And Texas is going to be all right. So I think he'll be good. He'll handle it. When I've talked to people behind the scenes, they've been telling me he's been killing it in practice, looking phenomenal, looking the part. But I thought what the interesting part that he brought out as I'm circling back on things is that when he started talking about bringing out the competitive spirit in the other guys, it's really interesting because if I do a quarterback comparison, right? One of the biggest knocks on Quinn, I said this the other day, but the biggest knock on Quinn was, well, outside of like throwing, right? Just personality. There's so many knocks on Quinn. I'm like, the biggest knock. I'm like, there's a list of people who knock. Poor guy. Poor Quinn. Quintavious, Lamont, Ewers. I don't know what I'm gonna call Arch now. I gotta find some soulful name to give him. I wonder if there's a MAGA Arch as well. I wonder if we're gonna see him wear that as well. That would be. I think that's usually when Quinn would play his best, right? When he put on his MAGA stuff. So anyway, I don't want to get like too political and stuff. So Arch can do whatever the hell he wants to. No one gives a damn as long as he throws touchdowns. Anyway, the interesting part was that Quinn didn't never really talked a lot. And it was the weirdest thing that year after year after year, that was always kind of the biggest critique, was that he just is not as a vocal leader. And it's maybe this, some of it's natural. Some of it is just these kids nowadays don't talk. I mean, that's just how they are. Their personalities are. Some kids are talkative, but y'all got teenagers. Y'all, you have, for y'all have teenagers, or you around teenagers. Y'all know them kids don't talk. You get a group of them together, and what are they all doing? Sitting around. They don't talk. They don't talk. They don't talk to each other. It's the craziest thing. It's getting this generation to talk and communicate. Like, they don't know what it's like. Like, this generation will never know what we went through. This generation will never know what it's like to approach somebody, have a conversation, then ask her for her phone number, write it down. Maybe if you have a black book, you put it in your black book. I know Green Lantern knows what I'm talking about. Write it down, and then call her, get a busy signal, then call her back a little bit later, have to talk to her parents in order to get her on the phone, and then have a conversation with that person. And then, or if they're a little bit older, still have a conversation in order to go out. Like, now you just swipe, emoji, what you doing? Nothing. This is different this is a different generation. This is a different generation. But every generation thinks their generation is better than the next, right? So our parents' generation think they're better than us. We think we're better than this generation. And in the next generation, this kids are going to think they're better than their kids, right? It's all going to be different, right? But he was never a vocal person. He's never a really vocal person. It's interesting, though, that Arch is seemingly more vocal and not a person that you're telling yourself like, oh, now we got to spend this all season teaching him how to talk to people. It's interesting, as Sark talks about it, that he's already vocal. And so already what you're seeing getting out of your practices is when he says, typically these practices, especially for older guys who've been doing this for a while, like a Michael Taft, um, where all of a sudden Arch is chirping and he's bringing out the best in everybody else, not only on the offensive side but the defensive side. Because y'all play ball, when your side of the ball is talking, that gets you amped up. But now the other side of the ball, they're getting amped up because now they say, "Oh, wait, he's gonna talk that smack," and so now all of a sudden everyone's going at him. So it's interesting that we're having like a different dynamic of what practices is that we actually haven't heard before. Practice. We're talking about practice. I get it, right? But as we start going into the new horizon of where things are or where things could be, knowing that now all of a sudden you have that vocal leader. I think people have been. I remember I was talking to Travis Gale. He works on Orange Bloods, and he and I we were at. He went to the SEC Media Days. It was in Nashville, so it was like a couple of years ago. I want to say it had to be probably at least 2 years ago. And he and I were kind of going back and forth, and he was saying like he's talking about Quinn needing to be more vocal. And I'm like, well, that's just not who he is, and that's not never who he's going to be. So we're going back and forth. And I was like, he's never going to be Tim Tebow. Like he's just not going to be Tim Tebow. That's just not going to be his personality. But it's interesting that, and when I go through that comparison, and I start thinking about him, so he's got a little Tebow in him, where now all of a sudden, and look, we're going to get to. I'm going to tell you what somebody told me, gave me a comparison. Okay, so I'm going to tell you what somebody. I'm going to tell you who someone compared him to as I spoke to this week. I'm going to give you that in a second. But from a vocal leader kind of thing, he seems to be the guy that says, like, I'll put this team on my back. Like, I will carry this team. It seems to be that he's walking into this natural thing of, one, feeling comfortable, two, this is my team, but three, like, this is how I'm going to conduct it. And I'm a smack talker and I'm good with it. He played basketball for years. It's hard to play basketball and not talk trash. It's hard. That's just who you are. Anybody who hoops knows you talk trash. Even if you could go out to the YMCA right now and teach you something. Man, I'm just going to have a nice game and just do a pickup game. By the way, if you're older, don't do that. Don't do that. I told my barber, he's in his late 30s. And he was telling me, like, hey, man, I'm out at the Y. He played a little college ball. Like, I'm killing these guys. Yada. I'm like, dude, I'm just trying to tell you, man, you're getting older, man. I don't think you should be doing that. But seriously, I told him this. And he's like, nah, man, I'm out there. I'm killing them, right? I saw him. It was the last month. I go, you're like, barber on, what the hell you talking about? No, just to get the cleanup in here, right? Just to get the cleanup so I don't look like Will Smith and what is it, Pursuit of Happiness. So I don't look like I'm sleeping out my car. I like to get my stuff cleaned up, right? So I show up to his shop, right? And I say shop because he actually rents an apartment and cuts hair out of there because he said that would be cheaper than paying for a booth somewhere. And I was like, actually, that was really smart, right? Dude's got this. He's sitting on the couch. Then he goes to put his boot on. He gets that. What's that little thing where you put your leg in and it rolls and you got your leg thing? Before he had the rolling thing, he had like the peg. It's like this thing. I don't know. It's like Captain Hook. Nonetheless, he blew out his Achilles. And had to have surgery a few weeks ago on that. Anyway, the older you get, long story short, is hoopers usually talk. I know I went off the rails with that one. That's why you watch it, though. Hoopers usually talk. So I said, so Arch is kind of like a verbal, for me, like a Tim Tebow. Somebody compared him to me, though. They said, look, I know it's early, but when I see Arch in practice, he looks to me like another Josh Allen from the Bills. And he goes, I know you're gonna say, man, don't make that comparison. It's too early. He hasn't played, all that, right? But he's to me Josh Allen. And I said, okay. Now I gotta be careful, right? Because last year, okay, and the only reason I'm saying it now, because last year someone told me they compared Ryan Wingo to next Julio Jones. And I was like, all right, man, y'all tripping. Y'all taking this too far. But nonetheless, we see that actually probably is a fair comparison. But behind the scenes, he's been playing so well that's kind of where the behind the scenes comparison looks like as relates to him. I don't like comparisons, quite honest with you, because I feel like sometimes when you put that on someone, it's hard to live up to because people used to say that damn, I'm trying to remember the guy. This is so bad. The guy who was the quarterback here at Texas and then lost the position battle to Quinn, and then he transferred to Purdue. I can't believe I'm not remembering that man's name. Anyway, somebody's going to put it in the chat and be like, dude, how did you forget him already? I did, man. I'm older. I got kids. I got a billion things going on in my life. I can't remember all of it, but somebody put it in the chat. Anyway, what they used to compare him to behind the scenes was Aaron Rodgers. And I used to say, man, y'all, that's a hefty comparison. They used to say, man, in practice, he looks like a young Aaron Rodgers. I'm like, and clearly he's not. He's never lived up to that. He's never even come close to that. Didn't really have that great of a career here at Texas. Didn't really do much at Purdue. I know his name is going to be in there. You put his name in that hat for the NFL draft. Probably not going to get drafted. If he does, it's a late pick that someone takes in. Thank you, Stephanie. Hudson Card. My gosh. Yes, Hudson Card. It's been so long. It's been so long. But yes, everyone called Hudson Card the next Aaron Rodgers. When it was all said and done, we always said to ourselves, like, it's not even close. Not even close. Like, it wasn't even close to, Aaron Richardson or anything to that effect. So, but nonetheless, there was. So there was that comparison. So that's what I heard about him. Another thing, just from the quarterback situation, he did get asked, Sark, about the other guys in the room. And here we go on those guys. I got you covered. On your QBs today, right? So Sark, here he is. Someone put
Trey Owens and KJ.
Right, here we go.
Yeah.
How are they doing?
Trey feels like year two. It makes a little more sense, a little bit more smooth. And again, we're fighting for consistency with him, which is pretty much across the board as a team of trying to stack plays, stack periods of practice, ultimately stack practices on top of one another. KJ, natural ability, you see it all when he knows what to do. Man, it's a very pretty thing. When he doesn't know what to do, he looks like a guy in the seventh practice of college football, And so, but I will say for both those guys, I think they're taking the coaching. As you guys know, we coach that position very hard, but they're responding to that, which is good.
Hitting unmute might help. Sorry about that, y'all. I'll say this. Sark is very refreshing for me. His answers are usually pretty. If you're asking about stuff that's not injury related in the season, he's usually really good with most of his answers. In the season, Sark ain't talking about no injuries. Like, he ain't trying to talk about that. Now, here, he'll tell, he tweaked the hamstring. It's okay. Oh boy, he's got, like, Jordan Washington's got a collarbone. Like, we'll see what happens, blah, 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 right? But you get into September, you can cancel Christmas. He ain't going to answer none of that. I find his answers refreshing, right? When he started talking about Trey Owens and, looking like a guy in year two, that's honest, right? Just playing with consistency and stacking it. And I've heard great things about Trey Owens. So, Sark's going to always judge his quarterbacks a little bit harsher because that's what he does, right? That's his quarterback. That's his baby, right? And of course, KJ, I heard great things about him as well. But again, Sark's talking about it. It's true. Like yes, he's still young. Like he's still going through those growing pains. And even Trey Owens is still young, still going through those growing pains. But that doesn't mean because they're going through some growing pains that they won't eventually get. The Arch went through growing pains. Some of the stuff that I'm hearing now that he's talking about Trey and KJ, I heard those things about Arch as well. Like that hey, he's going through growing pains. He's having, they got to stack one practice after another. He's a little bit inconsistent, all those kind of things. And now it seems like the light bulb is going off, and now he's playing better, and now he's playing well, and everyone's pretty hype about that. But he has to continue to he's going to continue to take it to the next level, and we'll see how he does the rest of the spring. But what I do like, and I kind of sum it up because I do have to get down to UT today. I say unfortunately, but I do double duty, man. I'm a reporter who hosts a show. That's how this thing goes. Like I'm not a show host who occasionally reports. I'm a reporter who hosts a show. The good part is that it seems like he's bringing out the best in everyone else. My only concern right now is that he's not necessarily working with all his guys at this moment. But once those guys finally get there, once the portal opens again, I heard again this week talking to some people. They're like, "You're ready, get ready." When that portal opens, it's like double dutch. they ready to jump in. Rodolfo has no clue what I just did, by the way. Rodolfo has no clue what I just did. Stephanie knows what I just did. I know Stephanie did some double dutch back in the day. I know Stephanie was able to do a little double dutch and stuff, but Rodolfo has no clue. He had no clue what I just did. And Rodolfo, by the way, real quick for you, I did hear. Hold on, I'm going through here. I know you keep talking about French, but I did hear a lot of good things about Khalik Lockett this week as well. I'll have some of that in the war room. Which, golly, one day I'm gonna get you guys to subscribe to Orange Bloods, and it'll be good there. All right, y'all, I gotta run. Thank God Spectrum cooperated today, but I do got to go down there. I got to get some interviews knocked out. So remember what I always say, live each day like it was your last. One day it will.